Hey everybody, Pepper Chronicles here. Thought I'd do a quick update of the pepper garden. We'll start here with the pubescence plants. This is the my yellow manzano. Really tall plant. It's about a good foot taller than my turbo pube. Still hasn't flowered yet, but I just gave it a good dose of some Flora Nova bloom, so hopefully it kicks into gear. And as you can see on the leaves, that's what I've been dealing with. Earwigs, man. Mega earwig damage. It's kind of disheartening, but what can you do? Here's my turbo pube. Still blooming like crazy. It's setting off new pods. There's some here. There's one. There's some bigger ones in here too. Another one there. Another one there. Another one back in here. And there's others hanging lower too, so pretty excited about that. I'll flip you around and we'll go to the we'll go over here to the slab here and show you what's going on. And we'll start at this row here in the back. Huh? Oh yeah. This is my brain strain from Cappy. Still no pods on this one yet, but it is flowering. And I moved it back here to where it gets more shade, so hopefully I'll get some pod action on it. This here is my Moruga Satan that's finally got starting to get some decent sized pods on it. It's really looking pretty good. It's got new pods forming also, as you can see there. So excited about that one. Down here is a 7-pot Jonah from Silver Surfer. That's got a pod on it. I think there's other little ones forming on it somewhere, but that one's doing all right. This is my Jay's Go Scorpion, one of the three. That's it's kind of leaning over to one side. I don't know if you can see that, but we had a freak lightning storm come in the other day. Did that to this plant and killed two of my other ones. And I'll show you that a little bit later. This is my yellow 7-pot from John, loaded with pods all over it. All kinds of little pods on there. New ones forming all the time on it, and down here is that big one that's on there, ripening for George Payne, and it looks like it's not a yellow 7-pot, it's actually orange. So that's what's going on. And there's a lot of pods on this thing. And back here is my Douglas Red variant with all kinds of crazy looking pods on it. Sorry it's so dark, but there's the pod range on this. They look like they're in boot shape to, look at that, perfect scorpion stinger. It's almost shaped like a Carolina Reaper in a way, or a scorpion of some kind with that nasty looking scorpion tail. And then down here, if I can get a good look of it, that one is just a straight up, looks like a big old Douglas. The pod variation on this is really, really cool. Excited about that one. This is my 7-pot Primo. That's not a Primo from Pepper Lover. Once again, it's got a lot of wacky pod variation on it. It's setting pods. There's lots of new pods forming on it. And the pod shape, as you can see, is very varied. So this has got to be some sort of an F1 cross of some sort, because the pod variation is incredible. It's actually kind of neat. You know, I'm not too bummed. It's not a Primo, but it's something, some kind of a cross. This is one of my Butch teas from Todd. It's got some pods on it. Pretty good looking scorpions on there. Not real huge, but that's kind of what they're looking like. There's pods all through this thing. This is one of my yellow brain strains from Cappy. It's got some pretty big, gnarly looking pods on it. Oh, back through here, more through here. Very stoked about this one, and a bunch of new ones forming also. Here's my Carolina Reaper. Look at that. It's got a little, well, if I can get it in the camera, there it is. It's got a little pod forming on it right there. And there's some other ones that are starting, so hopefully I get some good pods on it. This is one of my Source Butch teas. It's got lots of flowers on it. I don't know. There might be some pods set on it. I'm really not sure. Here's my other Moruga Satan. It's got some juvenile pods on it. There's a few on here, not too many. Lots of flowers. This is my unknown ahi ponca, not ahi ponca. This is an unknown ahi that's got some really strange looking pods on it. They're big and they start out straight up like that. I don't know if you can see, but you see how that pod's kind of sticking straight up in the air like that? They start like that and then they get big and heavy and they sag down like these guys because the weight of the pods. They're really kind of cool. Can't wait till they ripen. Don't know what color they're going to be or what they're going to taste like, but pretty excited. And then this is a Billy Boy Douglas that's finally starting to set some pods. There's one there, and I'm not going to spend all day looking for these little tiny pods on here, but there's pods on there. And this is a red Douglas crossed with a Butch T. And I have two of these plants, and one of them's got a really good sized pod on it that I can't seem to find at the moment. I don't know if this is the one that has the bigger pod on it or what, but there's still hope for this one yet. And then this is another one of my Jays, Ghost Scorpions. I don't think this particular plant, there's actually two plants in this pot. I don't think I've got pod setting on this yet, but I could be wrong. That's a flower drop. There's my Cornish Naga. Still setting kind of smallish pods, but there's a lot of them. There's one of the bigger pods on the plant right there. Very tasty, really, probably the most flavorful Naga that I've tried yet. Loaded with pods, lots of them. Here's my regular brain strain from Cappy. It's pretty thick in there, but there's definite pods in there. They've been on there for a little while. It's so hard to see. I'm sorry about the light and everything, but there's some good sized pods in there if you look. Really good ones. But crap, it's too hard to see because of all the leaves and whatnot. And then here's my yellow brain strain from Cappy, which, there we go. Actually, I think it's an orange brain strain, actually, which is even cooler. I think that's pretty awesome. This one's just about ready to go. Just a little bit of green on the bottom. I'll leave it on there for one more day. Got another one changing. It's got some good-sized pods, and they're numerous. So pretty stoked. I think I might review this one once it's fully ready to go. I've never tried an orange brain strain before, so that's really cool. Let's go over here. This is one of my Assam boot Jalokias. Finally starting to set pods on it. Finally. Hopefully they get big like the Assams are supposed to. Can always hope, right? Here's my Infinity Pepper plant that's lots of flowers. Still, I haven't seen one pod set on this thing yet. I don't know if I got a dud plant or don't really know. But let's see, this is my other Assam boot that is loaded with pods. They're not real big. They're medium sized, but there's a ton of pods on here. Lots and lots of pods all over it. This is my Jay's Ghost Scorpion that actually does have a pod setting on it, and I think there's a couple more. So hopefully they get decent sized and I get some ripening. Here is my Peach Habalokia. Probably one of the most prolific plants I've ever seen. It's got pods everywhere you look. Everywhere you look. And this is the plant's second set. The first set were small and about the size of, a little bigger than jelly beans. But these are a lot truer, a lot better. This is a definite keeper. I can't wait till these ripen. I'm pretty excited. And here's a chocolate boot. It's finally also starting to set some pods. There's bigger ones down in there too if you look. But chocolate boot. This is another bizarre Primo. I believe this one's from Silver Surfer. It had one set of pods on it that were really small that ripened, and still waiting for more. I don't know if there's any more pods on here right now. I don't think so. And then this is my Jamaican chocolate habanero SR number 4 from seeds I got out of a pod that T Mutter sent me, and I think it's growing true too, and I'm so excited. Very tasty, really awesome habanero with a cool pod shape. Here's my 7-pot brown from Todd, and Todd says that the pods on it are looking like the real deal, which is a good thing. You won't see me eating one of these again, at least not whole. But I want to send some of these out to some guys if they want them. Hit me up if you want to take a shot at that. That's good stuff there. Here's my white boot that I moved up here to the front row. It's got one decent sized pod on it right there. And there's a bunch of other ones, new ones that are setting. And this is actually 2 plants in 1 pot. But it's doing pretty good in that little 3-gallon white bucket. This is my Nagamorich. Nagamorich generally sets small pods. These seem a little smaller than what I've seen, but maybe it's just my climate, but it's loaded down with lots of peppers on it. And then back here is my other 7-pot brown that I didn't have much hope for, and lo and behold, we've got pods setting on it. I'd like to see them get a little bigger. Hopefully they do, but there's a bunch of pods on it all through. Very stoked about that. Then here's my red scorpionero that sets the little tiny little orange pods on it. It's kind of disappointing, actually. I mean, it's prolific as far as the amount of pods you get, but I mean, come on, man, they're just too small. I'm not going to continue to grow this plant after this season, but the other red scorpionero I am going to, because the pods on it look way different, and you'll see in a little bit when I talk about it, when I get to it. Oh, here's my other Carolina Reaper, which has gone from having leaves like this to a little bit better, and it's got flowers on it. Well, I can see it, but probably you can't, but there's some flowers set on there, so there's hope yet for that thing. Okay, let's go here. This is my brown Douglas scorpion, or brown Douglas crossed with scorpion, I should say, and really healthy looking plant. I don't see, there might be some pods setting on it. I think there is somewhere. Yeah, it looks like there's one setting right there, maybe. If I can focus. Crap. Well, I believe there's some young pods setting on this one. This is one of my ahi ponca that got the stem broken in the storm. I don't know if I'm going to try to save it or just shit can it. I'm really bummed. My other really tall ahi ponca broke off at the base. Wooden dowel and everything snapped. I don't know what the hell. This is another Source Butch tea that I believe has got some pods set on it somewhere. Lots of flowers. It's looking pretty good. I moved a lot of these out from the slab and put them out here because the canopies were crowding each other all on the slab, and I had to create room. This is a chocolate scorpion from Silver Surfer. It's got pods setting on it all over. It doesn't really look like a 7-pot variety, does it? So who knows? But there is pods, new pods on this thing all over the place. Let's see here. This is another red Douglas crossed with a Butch T scorpion. And I believe this might be the plant that's got the big pod on it, but there's another pod setting right there. Can you see that? Oh, there it is. I can see. Okay. But There's a bigger pot on here too, but I don't know, I can't find it right now. But there's a pretty good sized pot on here. Over here we got the 7-pot white that does have some new pods forming. There's one right there. That's a pretty good looking one. And there's some others on there too, but it's doing better than what it was. Here's my Billy Boy Jonah. That lots of flowers. I don't see any pods on it yet. There's my other red Scorpionero. As you can see, compared to my other Scorpionero, much bigger pods, much better looking pods that actually look like more like the Scorpionero that I tried last season. Look at the size of that one. This thing's loaded with pods, guys. Really, really stoked about this plant. Can't wait till they ripen up. Okay, this is where my other ahi ponca was that got snapped off. I don't know how. I don't know if somebody came in my yard and broke it, or just had a freak wind gust from the storm the other night. I just don't know, but kind of bummed about that. And here's a Billy Boy Douglas Red that's got some pods starting to form on it right there. And there's others somewhere around the plant. Here's a Trinidad Scorpion Moruga. It's got the 1 pod on it, and it's got some newer small pods starting to form on it too. I don't see at the moment, but the leaves on this plant look like shit. I don't know if that's, I think it might be insect damage. I don't really know, but it's still flowering and trying to set pods, so I guess we'll just see what it does. And here's my Barakpur 7-pot. It's got one decent sized pot on it, and some other ones finally starting to form back in there somewhere. Pretty cool. And I think that's it. I think I showed you everything. Oh, a Bohemian goat pepper. That does have, this is a really dense plant, but it does have some pods down in here forming. But they're kind of small at the moment. They need to get a lot bigger, because the Bohemian goat pepper, at least the one I tried, that was a huge ass pepper. So hopefully they get bigger. There's some more pods down in there. So anyways, y'all have a good one. We'll see you later.